Antenten so washe the fugu fine. And as usual of innocent, very simple, but obi na no a no be say very complicated. Innocent. And so ewa ha. Yeba kan sem mienu emerebe mu ade aka ne ye de betro so. De kan kano forata na yere mu de yan alatani na se Ghana ni no. Because me say na yere mu de yan. Na yere ye too. Wo de yere mu alatani na Ghana ni. Anyway, I'm only asking. So what chocolate aba said nikunu surgery na yesi ebe no ya wie. Na mum be ma no be hia bosome porpore emiensa. Una me sha se fi. Innocent ho. So you say 90 medical days a kire say. Eno minim say dey working days. Na medical days maybe Monday to Friday is 90, and I said maybe Innocent will be the best person to explain this to us. Many should saying who medical field. So ni ho. Enti said the one him dada no ebano prostate huni amane na. There's a new medical technology UK for na in crofobia na dey sade na ba first nanka wo Johnson no prostate na semba ho a yitwa okase tenten na ya dabi robotic surgery no ye bodo to say pew na ye wie eno no kura na ye wie ya wa cha 3 days ye se bibia wa asase so wie person ye bia no which we here because ye correct na kama na ye de amount but can frata de na de ye wie na mmom no ohia bosome porpore miensa na de atiapo otiapo wie na so beba Ghana na waba precious match over to you.
Captain, my mencha na mencha what for la menka say you sympathize with Ken Oforiatta because yare de obi atumi yare said the bia misika no and cancer nya de a toss wa the papa, so for him to being exposed to your friend saying such a situation is an ordeal. I definitely know he will have to go through and as a forum. But the what makes this whole thing funny? The aspect the people communicating to the government of this country, the people who are giving out the information and as for because there has been a formal activation of communication between Ken Oforiatta and the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Any near bia air cost no that former channel no should be activated. Relevant information is be available no must not even come from Ken Oforiatta. Maybe the hospital by now no, should have been able to establish that link. So Ken Oforiatta agree that kind of communication can be streamlined. So anything that comes to Ghana no will appear to be an official statement coming from Ken Oforiatta and the doctors. That one is official. We take it for something value. What the analysis are. We cannot base this whole thing on the theory that has been propounded by a wife. Are you very insignificant in this whole thing? Koso. Obetimia can then some, but the thing is, can the state take in some and the wife formally? Abra, the state near ready to go after the person in this particular manner. For me, I think that this whole thing, they are just joking and toying with the people of this country. And I have sat on this platform and I have told you, say, Ken Oforiatta and you're not being so Ghanaians should just forget about it. So president, the government, any former channel that has to be activated. Say extradition, or the way a man will go after things, Yes, surgery, sometimes you anticipate possible complications because cancer if it is true complications but some of these things must not come from a wife. Say Ken Oforiatta person taking it serious man the doctors actually formally to the Office of the Special Prosecutor or the people of this country say these are some of the reasons why because we anticipated there may be a possible post-surgical complications we want full recovery for the person and he says this period then so whenever you are communicating in that particular line a man for will take you serious than a wife or in any medical way and in some now kind is not backed with any fact he will come about resurrected the long held notion and impression some of us was the gentleman is not ready and only prepared to come to this country because prior to the surgery, and I've told you, say, not on you be another bedridden, or you be a you know, and yet your friend is saying, how do you call it? Surgery, an emergency surgery. Some of these things, you know, sometimes a planned surgery. That is why I'm on long term. So it means that you put to sometimes they give you time and whole lot of stuff. And all this time I can for it and Ghana back and forth for so Mayo Clinic was so bad faith. He never demonstrated any good faith, say, or back Ghana to account for what things that he has done in this country. And said the Mr. Culture, Ghana for are angry and they are in expectant mode. Very often, you say, "Akaso will be a captain." I'm for sympathizer with the person. See, Akaso will be area. It doesn't matter. The Nippon or enemy crana. You see, said there is a bit of empathy. But if you go to various social media platforms and you see the way and manner Ghanaians are reacting to this kind of tenor, you could see that there is zero empathy in this whole thing because you know why? Nema Kosu Okroma Kenoforata at the center of the epic scandals of corruption Kosu Okroma. And we are talking about people who have significantly suffered at the hands of this gentleman. A man from a bank, Papa Kwasindu, and Matisse say the man is not even well. I will be okay, you mama, man for Jumaura, and they are dying a Kaura and Oteho. Or see about things as a man from Betches in the because God Coast, you know, there are several people, Musica woman, Besino Monsankaye, and there are several other staff at Aircoso. So for me, I think that we need to show that seriousness, that kind of for that and demonstrate to the people of this country, say he is ready to account for his crimes because Neamana, Akoso Okroma, he is the masterpiece at the center of this whole corruption puzzle now here try to unlock. Said the Debia Mexican, and for me, I think it's very shameful. Said the Akosunina on Nabusian for are trying to play and toy with the minds of the people of this country. And for me, that is the problem. And Captain, then say me to say let the Biaba Bontia Kenoforata family in the Chokoma special prosecutor say Omunyi Nabusian, Omunyinum free your friend saying Interpol red alert so na a good family anymore say daben you see and America say society na a team no there is absolutely no shame because say Nipa was sense of shame and a remorse that would be the last thing for them to do and that was absolutely nonsense. You understand because you see maybe some who say Abra na Kenoforata ti kroma no go amanfo bank airborne kwase abosia ye de oye ni nyina na family no mu ko vacation or China and I know more Zimbabwe. They never heard what happened. When the gentleman was out there doing all the nasty stuff, Ghana for you megu, Papa Kwasindu, Oguni Bank, when we had other options, because I mentioned, sir, in 2008, America had similar challenges. When Obama came, there was a tap, that is trouble, your friends say asset, your friends say district where you reliever, a buying on the buyer, just to buy all these district companies out of your friends debt. And Chase Bank and JP Morgan Chase in more financial way the government and make it available to go and buy this bank because in the financial sector then banks will have liquidity challenges. In America last 2 years about Signature Bank and several other banks because they all have challenges. Well, what they do is whenever they signal the right signs then they try either merger acquisition and I say takeover. Then I say for them, say baya nipa no buom or musika or monsanka. These options were available on the table. We proposed to Kenoforata and said, no, don't go after the individuals, don't go after the bank. You're Ghana for a year, Juma. He never listened to anybody. The gentleman destroy bank, destroy life. Obi a bank manager, we are not to preko or kwan ho. Family no omante. When all this nasty stuff were going on in this country, did you ever hear second of or family Okroma say? When even the MPP as a political party, some got peeved and said, no, the gentleman is destroying our party. And for that matter, and the president will have to take him out, you know. Did we hear any family? When the guy was here as a finance minister, I sat and I told you that he was sick. Man can't know. Our program way. So I told you that the guy was sick. And you'll be never catch us or because the guy was puffy. At the time, no, the family no any love for that gentleman. And because